One of the things that got us thinking about this subject this week were the comments from Muhtar Kent, the CEO of the Coca-Cola Company. He said it's easier doing business in China, which he compared to a well-managed company. And he said that in the U.S., high taxes and the political divide are hurting business and hurting investment. Mr. Smith, you do business all over the world. Is Mr. Kent right?
Well, we've been in China for 25 years, and in our sector, transportation, there are plenty of challenges in China, I can say that for sure. But we have had a tremendous growth spurt there. What I wish I could say is that the United States does not have challenges, and we have significant challenges as well.
Mr. Johnson, another business leader, spoke out this week. Ted Leonsis, who was one of the people who helped build AOL, and as you well know, is now the owner of two big sports teams here in Washington. He wrote a blog about the president and some of his statements under the headline, "Class Warfare, Yuck." And he wrote this: "Some in the Democratic Party are now casting about for enemies, and business leaders and anyone who has achieved success in terms of rank or fiscal success is being cast as a bad guy in a black hat." Mr. Johnson, Ted Leonsis is a big Democratic donor, as are you, but is the president playing class warfare?
Well, I think the president has to recalibrate his message. You don't get people to like you by attacking them or demeaning their success. You know, I grew up in a family of 10 kids, first one to go to college, and I've earned my success. I've earned my right to fly private if I choose to do so. And by attacking me is not going to convince me that I should take a bigger hit because I happen to be wealthy. You know, it's the old, I think Ted and Fred and I would both sort of take the old Ethel Merman approach to life. I've tried poor and I've tried rich, and I like rich better. Doesn't mean that I'm a bad guy. I didn't go into business to create a public policy success for either party, Republican or Democrat. I went in business to create jobs, to create opportunity, create value for myself and my investors. And that's what the president should be praising, not demagoguing us simply because, you know, Warren Buffett says he pays more than a secretary. He should pay his secretary more and she'll pay more.
Mr. Smith, I want to follow up on that. We had the president's chief strategist, senior strategist David Plouffe, on Fox News Sunday last week, and he made the argument that you've heard a lot from the president in the White House: the wealthy aren't paying their fair share. Take a look.
The American people are screaming out, saying it's unfair that the wealthiest, the largest corporations who can afford the best attorneys, the best accountants, take advantage of these special tax treatments that lobbyists have, along with lawmakers, have cooked into the books here.
Mr. Smith, is the White House right? Are businessmen like you and Mr. Johnson getting off too easy on taxes?
Well, I think you have to divide the tax argument into a little bit more discrete argument. First of all, the top 10% of the taxpayers in the United States pay 70% or near 70% of all federal personal taxes. Corporate taxes are only about 9%. The problem is when you talk about personal taxes, it takes everyone's eye off of the corporate tax situation. And from 1986 forward, the United States has had, in essence, a similar tax code for corporations as they do for individuals. And that is a big part of our slow investment, and that's why we're not getting the jobs. Let me just give you one example that goes back to your interview with Mr. Kane. The 9% sales tax that he's advocating is similar to a value-added tax, as they call it in Europe and elsewhere. Under the World Trading Rules, the value-added tax is deductible from exports, where our corporate income tax is not. So we're playing with one hand tied behind our back when it comes to exports, which is one of the biggest potential growth areas that the United States has. That's why the corporate tax has to be lowered. It has to be configured for a worldwide economy, and it has to incent business investment.
All right.